One of the most important inputs in crop production is fertilizer. For a long time, smallholder farmers have used synthetic fertilizers which degrade the quality of the soil, leading to reduced yield. When Samuel was growing up, he witnessed how continuous usage of synthetic fertilizer led to reduced food production. To respond to this problem, in 2015, Samuel was inspired by his experience to start a company that manufactures organic fertilizer made out of rice husks.
Previously, what was happening, for example, to rice husk here, it was being burnt. So there was no commercial use for it. And our solution is to ensure that the farmers get a fertilizer that will increase their yield in the farm and at the same time will remedy their soils. With SafiOrganics technology, we are able to produce a fertilizer that can be tailor-made for a specific soil. Before planting, we have the soil amender. It rectifies or remedies acidified soils. After we have added the amender, we come in and now during planting, we add Safi planting fertilizer. From there, when the plant, for example, if it's maize, when it is knee-high, we add what we call the top dressing fertilizer. Finally, we have the Safi foliar fertilizer. Safi foliar fertilizer is a well-balanced liquid fertilizer that we use during the vegetative growth of the plant. What is our process in terms of production? So we have divided our process into two parts. The first part is where we get the raw materials and use technology to convert these materials to what we call the biochar. Now, for that step, specifically what we do, we work with youths to do that one for us. And currently we have about 9 youth groups that we are working with who correct the residues, the crop residues, and convert them into our fertilizer base. Once they have converted, they bring it to the facility where we buy the material, having passed the quality test. Once we have the material here, what we do, we grind it, mix it with special formulation, pelletize it, and package it as complete fertilizer.
Hapo bereni wakati nilikuwa napanda mahindi, ilikuwa inakaa kidogo na ilikuwa inatan karayeru. Sasa wakati walikuja wakanipimia mchanga ikaonekana iko na acidic, wakanipe mbolea, tukatengeneza mchanga, sasa nikaanza kulima kutumia hiyo mbolea yao. Wakati nilikuwa natumia hii fertilizer zingine, nilikuwa natoa nusu gunia ya mahindi. Sasa wakati nilianzia kutumia hii organic fertilizer, kama hapa natoa gunia 4 za mahindi.
Beyond the farmers now, when we come to the environment, our fertilizer, once it is buried in the soil, that carbon will never be released again. So we say we are carbon negative because we are taking away carbon from the environment. In the coming days, we will be setting up 2 other production facilities in the course of this year. And in 3 years, we believe with about 20 production facilities in the country, we will be in a position to supply the country with the organic fertilizer it needs.